Progress. Excuse me. Any questions this morning about what he said? Yes.
So Sunim mentioned some phrases that not everyone may know, like Sunim and Hengja and so on and so forth. If you could explain it, please.
Yeah, so all the different kinds of monks, levels of it, they have different names. And generally they're Sunims, which means honorable teacher. And that's a Korean term for a monk or a nun. It's a Sunim. And then there's, you have a picture of Zen Master Dae Kwang here somewhere.
Hengja was the other term.
What?
Hengja was the other term.
Oh, Hangja, what does that mean? Action person. So it means a person that just does crap. And I mean they do crap. So it's a hang. Hang is action and ja is person. Hang, ja, action person. So they're supposed to keep their mouths shut and just do crap. That's the idea anyway.
And is there a relationship between Hengja and Sunim?
Yeah, it's a stage about becoming, towards becoming. So when you first start out, when you take the 10 precepts to become a novice monk, or you become a hangja first, and then you later, how long is that? A year, 2 years?
It takes about a year of hangja.
Okay.
Then you're sami for 4 years.
And then you're a bhikkhu or a bhikkhuni, which is a full monk.
But as soon as you start, you're already.
Yeah, right. They're all the same in the end. Your job is to help people. Those are just different names. And they're probably like, sometimes we call all this stuff Dharma candy, like I have to get a big robe like you, and if I get a big robe like you, I might even get one like him. Yeah. So those kind of things kind of suck you along in a good way, hopefully. Is that enough of that? Any other questions? It's funny, over the years, I've made all these people monks and nuns, and none of them are still monks and nuns. But he became a monk in Korea. Are there any left? I can't even remember. I don't think so. Because it's hard. It's a hard life, It's not, actually what he forgot to mention is how boring it is. So Zen Master Dae Kwang always said the hardest part about practicing or Zen or anything like that is boredom. So no matter how clever you think he talked about a wadu, that's a figure of speech for a phrase you say over and over in your mind, like, what am I? I say, what am I? Don't know, so that's a wadu. Or you can use a mantra like Shinmyo Janggu De Darini, or something like that. And but after you do that 2 or 3 times, it becomes really. But that's the idea. It's supposed to be boring because there's nothing there for you to grab a hold of. You might think you're grabbing a hold of it, but soon it'll go away, including you. So it's not about getting anything, it's about letting go of something. Yeah.
So if this practice is really boring, how do you know that it's any good?
What?
I said, if the practice is really boring, how do you know if it's working or?
Yeah, you don't. It's kind of like practicing basketball. Like when I was a kid, I always practiced basketball. Then suddenly I could do all kinds of dribbling tricks I never could before, but I don't know why. Why is that? So that's happening all the time, is my theory. It's just a theory. So you just do it, and when you just do it, then you get the result. If you don't do it, of course you're not going to get the result. Yes? Do I have to do something?
Vera, unmute.
Go ahead, Vera.
Go ahead, please.
Vera, unmute.
Finally. Sorry.
Good, no problem.
I just, I just heard about a relatively new order of Catholic nuns in Kansas City, Kansas, who are going door to door and asking for food, and they will not take money or anything else, but they would like leftover food. And that made me think of the monks that would carry their bowls around. And I'd like you to help me understand that way of life.
Yeah, I don't understand that because I never baked with my bake. I have baking bowls, and many of you do too. Those 4 bowls. Those are actually bowls that are designed to be used for, well, eating. But technically, they're baking bowls. So you go around, and it's meant to express your detachment from stuff. So most of us are working to make money so we can buy food, then we go home and we make the food that we like, right? And everybody does that. So supposedly, originally, the monks and nuns were not supposed to have their own food or make it, although we do in Korea, of course. Really good food too. And then you go around and beg for the food. So that's the idea behind that. Yeah.
So Judy had asked the question about clarifying like Hengjan Sunim, and so you talked a little bit about that path for becoming a full monk, a Sunim. Is that path similar for nuns as well?
Yes, yeah. Except they have more precepts, but they aren't discriminatory precepts. They're to protect women from when they become nuns. So I even forget what they are. I have given them accidentally because I'm in the United States. So in the United States, we're considered to be on the periphery. So we get away with all kinds of crap because we're on the periphery. So they take, yeah, it's the same,
Yeah.
essentially. Just as boring, I know.
They still have to do the boring crap.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm going to persist with my last question.
Really?
If I can now, like, remember what I was going to say. Oh, my God. This is awful. Yeah. Somebody else talk. If it comes back, that's fine.
Yeah, you don't know if it's working. That's what we call it, don't know. So we only teach don't know, which means we are not teaching you some kind of understanding. And it's based on experience, not on conceptual manipulation or conceptual awareness or whatever you want to call it. It's based on direct experience. So you'll notice if you look closely, there's religions like Hinduism that's based on belief. But if you take away the belief part, then you'll find the basis of Buddhism back behind there, hiding somewhere. And so the same thing is true of Middle Eastern religions versus Chinese ones. Like Taoism is based on experience. It's not based on whether you believe in the Tao. They don't give a crap if you believe in the Tao. While in the Middle East, they'll even kill each other over who you believe, right? So if you don't like this pronunciation of the word God, it goes all ways, right? Nobody's special, they're all doing that. So that's the difference between, I always make this distinction between religions based on belief versus so-called religions based on experience. But of course, that's quite different bases, and I don't even know if you can call it Taoism or Zen a religion. think it is. Well, we have plenty of, at PCC, we have plenty of Christians and Jews who practice there. They don't have to give up their religion, they just practice. It's no problem. Yeah.
This is kind of a question about Tom's question, so I
Good.
asking about does the practice work? When I take a couple of days off, I notice that I am more self-centered and more.
Could be.
Yeah, I can feel it. I mean, for me to tell that it's working, I take a couple of days off and I can tell.
Right.
And then so I guess my question is, why does it work?
I don't know.
Or
So these are like, we have a whole bunch of techniques, right? So you sit there and, what do I go on? What do I go on? Right? So, and you breathe through your lower belly from your Tantian. So those are all just techniques to kind of, I think of them as like diversions from attachment thinking. But there's non-attachment thinking too, which we call clear thinking, right? So, and why it works, I don't know, but detaching yourself from your likes and dislikes is a helpful thing, in my opinion. Does that make sense?
yes, I have another question, unless anyone else has a question. There's this, we have all these precepts and all these things that we keep so that we can help this world.
Right.
I guess my issue, well, not an issue with it, but I've noticed that to really help someone, I have to go to where they are. And most people eat meat. So if I really want to help someone, maybe I need to go grab a burger with them. I don't know. So I guess I was wondering if you could comment on the tension between going to be with someone where they are so that you can help them versus all of the precepts that we have to keep, because it seems.
So that's why it says know when the precepts are open and know when they're closed. It says that right during the ceremony. So sometimes you might want to violate the precepts to actually kind of like keep them or keep their intent. So the big intent is helping people. And so sometimes the precepts might be a hindrance for that. And then at that moment, if you're paying attention, you'll see, well, it's okay for me to steal this money or whatever, or chase this rabbit down that path, or I don't know what. Like was it last week somebody told this story about, there's this famous story, was it last week? Yeah. Oh, well, we told this, I'll tell it again, it was a short version of it anyway. So this rabbit comes down, this guy's walking up this path, rabbit comes towards him and goes to the left. Then a hunter comes right after the rabbit and says, which way did the rabbit go? And the guy lies, which is against the precepts, says, hey, the rabbit went to the right. And then the hunter goes down that way. Of course, he didn't find the rabbit because the rabbit went to the left. But if the hunter needs food for his kids, you could argue that, well, wait, he has to kill that rabbit so that his children could live or something, right? So everything in life is like that, it's complicated. So that's why you just want to practice and make yourself clearer, so you can see situations clearly. That's the idea. And then keep this direction in mind. So we actually have a kind of attachment. We're attached to helping people. So that's good attachment versus bad attachment. I don't know. Any other questions? Yes, please. Oh, Tom remembered what his question was. Good.
That doesn't
Shows us
necessarily.
humility does
Okay.
work.
So, yeah, no, I'm going back to the basketball analogy, which of course is, very
Yeah.
skillful here in Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah,
But
right. Sorry, I mentioned that.
and so it sounds like you're saying that the mind is trainable. And I guess or is it our attention that's trainable? Are we training something?
There's many words for all of this. This is like a big pile of stuff, and there's many words for all of it. So we might say, yeah, the mind is trainable, but then somebody said, well, wait a minute, the mind is infinite in space and time, you can't train it. So no matter what I say and how clever it is or how meaningful it is, somebody can contradict it, probably using the Buddha's own speech. So that's happening all the time. So there it's about direction, you're saying something that is hopefully helpful for somebody. It's not the absolute truth or anything like that. So yeah, everything that anybody says could be contradicted. Zen teachers are good at that, supposedly. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Okay, so this is also going back to Tom's question, I think.
Good.
About whether it's working or not. But I was just thinking, as we've been talking, that, over the millennia, there have been so many people that have practiced Buddhism. There's so many people in this world that practice some form of religion. And like Christianity, it's all about, loving your neighbor and treating the lesser of these as you would treat Christ and all of this. And there's so many people that have been practicing all these things, but the world is still
A mess.
so,
Yeah. Right.
yeah, so what's the deal, is what Jane just said.
Attachment is the deal, so.
It's not working.
It says that, it says that desire is what creates suffering, right? So they want something from that religion, maybe, I guess. They want to be holy, or they want to be correct, or they want to please God, or whatever that means. I don't know what that means, but there's all those, they're attached to some kind of idea. And Zen is interesting because it has you let go of every idea. And then you can perceive what the ideas are really about and what they're for. So they're pointing towards something. Like if I say croissant, okay, everybody knows croissant, okay. Why'd you mention that? It's almost like 11:30, right? So everybody knows that word, but if you've never eaten one, and we ate one at a really cool place a couple of days. What was that one where we had that croissant that was so good? It wasn't even called a croissant. Where? Yeah. So we had this croissant. I'd never seen this kind of thing before, but when I bit into it, I went, "Whoa, yeah, okay." Right. So it's like describing music or describing dance or describing food or anything. You know that that's not very satisfying, but eating and dancing and singing is satisfying on some level, I guess. Until you die and can't do it anymore. Yeah. So it's about, there's all these words. So we use words supposedly expediently to teach, but everything is doing that, or every human being is doing that. So in Zen, there's no absolute truth that you can vocalize. It's more like a pointing or something. So Judy or Stan or Dennis might hit you with that stick. When they hit you with the stick, they probably won't anymore, I guess. But when they hit you with that stick, at that moment, that's it. That oh. And then you can think anything about that, like why did they do that, or what's the meaning of that, or blah 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 blah. But the hit is still the same. It's just, and I can't explain that, but you can experience it, right? And everybody does. So, la-di-da, and then you move on because it's always the next moment. One of my favorite concepts of Zen Master Sung Sung is this moment world idea, that we live in a moment world. We don't live in the past, although we're always thinking about it, right? And we don't live in the future, although we're always thinking about that. And there's nothing wrong with thinking about them. It's just we get attached to our thinking about them. So we get attached to some idea about what happened in the past. We don't like it. Or we really do like it. Oh God, but I can't go back and kiss that girl again because it happened 40 years ago or whatever. And I'm a monk now. So you get trapped in by being attached to your thinking about these things, and they don't even exist. What exists is right now. So how do you use those concepts to help people right now? So that then you're back to using those things to help people. And if you pound people over the head with them, probably you're not going to help them. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, please.
So you're talking about how there's lots of techniques we use to try and help us.
Right.
It seems like Zen uses a certain set of techniques, but there's lots of other techniques
Oh,
too.
yeah, millions of them, yeah, right.
So why use some techniques and not others?
Well, I guess since you can't do them all, you try to pare it down a little bit. And we use the ones that Zen Master Sung selected from Korean Buddhism. And not for, if you go to Korea, you'll notice not very many people are doing the same practice that we do. But that's true of all these different religions. So Christians have meditations called contemplative prayer. We have meditations called Zen meditation. Then there's Vipassana. There's all kinds of different styles. So the question is doing it 100%. The style, in my opinion, is not that important. As long as it allows you, it's a technique for allowing you to let go of your thinking. Because heaven knows we're attached to our thinking. So that's enough for this morning. Thank you for coming and practicing. That's the most important thing.